It was warmer now, almost comfortable, with only a few tiny clouds to occlude a startlingly blue sky. From now on, the river was a constant companion to my left, with the now much narrower road hugging its right bank within forested hills dappled in yellow and green. Every so often the smooth, dark surface of the water broke into small rapids and riffles, and I often stopped to listen to the gentle sound of the moving water and the rustle of the trees. It'd be so easy to race on by, eager to get to the safety of the paved road 100 kilometers ahead, but that would be to miss out on these gentle pleasures. As I stood watching the water, it occurred to me that I hadn't given my valve cover gasket leak a thought since leaving Sturgeon Falls. I looked down at my right shin. It was covered in a coating of gravel dust, but there was not a speck of oil to be seen. I ran my finger along the valve cover seam. Dry as a bone. Wonderful. I'm a ham-fisted mechanic at the best of times, but once in a while I surprise myself and do something that works. Moving again, there's a wonderful comfort listening to the gentle clatter of the Goodsey's tappets, knowing that even if the bike stopped for some reason, the likelihood was that I would be able to get her running. My tool roll, my tire irons, and my spare tube were my insurance. There are a few parts of the bike I haven't had intimate contact with. I know her well. Modern bikes may be robust and reliable, but bash an ABS sensor on a rock or have a glitch in the electronic engine management system and you'd be stuck. Other than one parked truck a few kilometers back, I hadn't seen another vehicle since turning onto the Port Lance Road, and the likelihood was that I wouldn't encounter another, at least until I hit the logging haul road much further ahead. Cell phone service? Emergency satellite device? You've got to be kidding. More rapids, poplar, spruce, cedar, birch and balsam. In places the road was only separated from the river by a narrow band of spindly shrubs. Not that I was in any danger of riding off into the water. I was trickling along, usually in second gear, the engine running at barely above an idle. Eventually, the road surface began to change from hard-packed gravel to small cobbles. The transition was so gradual that at first I barely noticed, but the strings of flagging tape hanging in the bushes indicating the location of potholes and vertical sticks in minor holes or washout hazards started to appear more frequently. By the time I passed the little sign indicating 40 kilometers from the start of the road, we were dancing around potholes and avoiding embedded boulders. This is fun. No, I mean it. Choosing a line and weaving around these minor obstacles is entertaining. I was having a great time, but it's a good job the Eldorado is a tough old bird. Once in a while I'd misjudge it, and we'd smack through a pothole, jarring my spine and bottoming out the bike's forks with a bang. Then, at 42 kilometers, we reached another bridge. I'd barely begun to ride across when I pulled hard on the brakes. Ahead was a poorly patched hole in the roadbed through which I could see the river below. Most of the bridge's upper planking was rotten. In some places a feeble attempt at repairs had been made, using some short sections of 2x4. I imagine it was still strong enough to ride across, but the extent of the rot in the upper timbers was disconcerting, to say the least. The audiobook version of this book is available on Amazon and Audible. It's about 4 hours and 20 minutes long. Paperback and digital versions are also available. Thanks for listening.